if I'm thinking of skipping my workout, or if I'm thinking of skipping something I have to do on my to-do list and I know it's going to cause me anxiety later, I say, how do you want to feel tonight? Do you want to feel anxious when you're trying to enjoy your downtime and now you feel guilty? Or how do you want to feel tomorrow? Do you want to ruin tomorrow because you're not willing to just do this small task right now that could take 20, 30 minutes and you could just sit here in this short-term pain to give yourself a lot of relief tomorrow?
And we're back
with another episode of He Said, She Said.
Speaking of back, we get the puppies back. Oh my God, how happy are you right now?
The puppies are back.
Seriously?
I'm so happy, and I'm also already exhausted because
I thought the work was done for the 5 weeks they were away.
No, we knew this. We know that we have to reinforce it. That would literally be like saying, hey, I sent you away, Chris, to go get super fit, and I didn't know that we would have to continue working out for you to stay looking so good for me.
Okay, that's a good analogy, number one. Number two, I could actually see you doing that. Number three, I might actually sign up for that. But listen, for those of you that are like, what are they talking about? We have two dogs. One is 7-month-old sheepadoodle. The other one's a 3-year-old sheepadoodle. And they're both big. And as soon as we got the second one, we're like, oh, we need them trained. Like they are running our show.
Must be trained.
They're running our show. So we sent them away to the best 5-day doggy boot camp ever. What's it called? It's called Triumph.
Triumph Dog Training.
Triumph Dog Training. That's right. Triumph Dog Training here in Scottsdale. They're freaking amazing. They do it different than everybody else who just takes your dog for 2 weeks. I can't recommend them more. We have these ninja level assassin dogs back. But this means now we have to reinforce everything. So We had a 4-hour training today, 4 hours, where they taught us everything, made us demonstrate everything, make sure the dogs were listening to us. I mean, it was really thorough and really cool. And now, appropriate to what we're going to talk about today, we have the mundane job of reinforcing every dang little command. And it's already kind of been a lot tonight.
Because we want the end goal.
Yep.
We want 2 dogs that are very well behaved, that
we can
when
take
we have
anywhere.
Kids, we can still take them places. Otherwise, let me tell you, if I did this right now, it would not be happening. And we want to be able to take them places. We want to be able to take them out to eat. We want to be able to recall them when they're in the park or if they get away from us. So it's really for their safety. It's for their enjoyment. And that's what you have to think about whenever you're setting goals around anything is I have to keep on remembering what the result is that I want. And it's actually better for them. Just like everything is going to be better for you that we're about to talk about, but it's better for them because now if we do this, they're going to be able to go everywhere with us.
Yeah, so it's a good analogy for your business, right? You've got an end goal. I know you have a life that you're picturing. I know you have a financial situation you're picturing. I know you've got things you want to do, but without, number one, the training. So that's when you go away and get a mentor, or you go to an event, or you just listen to books and podcasts like this. So number one, you got to go do the training like the dogs did. Number two, it's that monotonous, mundane reinforcement of what you learned and what you know you're supposed to do that's going to be most important.
So let's talk about it. Mastering the mundane. And we want to share some tips and things that we think about when we are stuck in the middle of the mundane, which is daily, that helps get us through and reminds us that this stuff is so important. So I think the most important thing to realize first with the mundane is that you have to have faith that it's going to work. And so whether you feel that way right now or not, whether you just started a fitness routine and you're like, I don't know if this is going to work, whether you just started a business and you're not seeing any results, because I'm going to tell you, results take a lot of time, but it doesn't mean that results aren't happening. It just means you're not seeing them yet. And what I mean by that is, I was a trainer for tons of years and I was my first client. So when I first started working out, I didn't see results for like 6 months. So I had to borrow the belief of these fitness magazines that were telling me you need to stick with it because you're not going to see anything at first and you're going to layer on these different results. So essentially what was happening is, let's just talk about fitness for a second. When you first start working out, you don't really see the muscle that you're building if you're going to the gym 3 times a week, because maybe you haven't dialed in your nutrition yet, but you have dialed in your workouts. And in fact, what would happen a lot to me and my clients is that your weight goes up in the beginning. So this is where people stop, is they're not seeing the result. They're actually seeing negative results, right? Like, let's talk about when you start a business. Your family might be against you in the beginning. You might not be getting the results you want. You might be losing money because you're investing. So in the beginning, a lot of times you actually see some negative results. This is where your faith really has to kick in. So back to the fitness idea, you are building muscle, but you're not seeing it yet. So you have to borrow belief. You have to borrow faith that I promise you that if you're doing something different that is challenging you, that is becoming a habit, if you're doing something that you know is better than what you were doing, you are actually, in fact, getting better. So what you have to tell yourself is, even though I don't see results yet, I know that there are changes happening and I trust this. So what happens in a fitness journey is that you're getting a lot of results within your body. You're getting stronger. You're building muscle, but you're not going to see that until all of a sudden the fitness part becomes, or the lifting part becomes a habit, the gym part becomes a habit. And then once that's a habit, you have to stack another habit, which is now trying to eat a little bit better. And then with that comes the result after you've done that a few months. So I know that there's plenty of things in business, but what I want to say is today I was at the gym and, the mundane, you can master it, but I'm telling you, you can always slip out of it too. So I have to reinforce and constantly use my reinforcing thoughts in order for me to continue on with the gym and continue on with eating right. And today I was at the gym and I'm like, I feel pretty fit. I feel pretty good. But I want this end result. And I know that at the end of the day, if I'm not consistent, I'm going to lose this habit. And I was working out in the gym and I wanted to quit early. Chris was over there. I knew I could, trust me. I know that at any given time, I can probably pull Chris out of the gym.
Hey, wait, that's not fair.
Is that true or no?
I'm the 5th.
So I was like, I could walk over and get him out of here. And I said, Lori, every successful person in the world right now who has what you want, who has the life you want, and who is happy, every person who earns their happiness has spent their hour in the gym today, or they have spent their hour on a walk today. And the second that you stop this, you actually stop the momentum of happiness. So I continued on. Hey y'all, I'm so excited to share with you that this podcast, Earn Your Happy, is now a part of the Growth Day Podcast Network. Truly, this is like one of the most exciting things that has ever happened to me. I'm telling you, I no longer feel like I'm doing this alone, and I actually get to collaborate with the people who host the podcast that I'm obsessed with, like that I have been listening to myself, who inspired me to start a podcast, who have taught me about how to go and do the thing, like the original people who got me motivated through listening to their podcasts. You guys, a bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and to support shows and brands that we believe in. And one of my friends are also on this network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to their show. You guys, I just had Danielle Canty on of the Boss Babe podcast. She co-hosts it with her other amazing co-host and one of my friends, Natalie Ellis. You guys, you can go check out that podcast on mine. It's episode 925, and Danielle and I talk all about burnout and how that could be showing up in your life, and most importantly, how to prevent it. But I want to tell you, if you have not gone and checked out the Boss Babe podcast yet, go subscribe, because it is one of the largest online communities for ambitious women and female entrepreneurs. And I know that if you're listening to the show, chances are that's probably you. You guys, they have 3.6 million followers and 380,000 subscribers. The Boss Babe podcast is the place where they share real behind the scenes of building successful businesses, achieving peak performance, and learning how to balance it all. Most of all, you guys, truly, these women are in my life. Danielle and Natalie are people that I text on a weekly, monthly basis when I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel stuck. What should I do? I tune into their podcast, you guys, to learn. Even though they're my friends, I am still like crazy obsessed with this podcast because I learn something new every single time I listen. It makes me be a better podcaster. It makes me be a better businesswoman. It just makes me be better and more confident out in the world because they're so real and raw. And I can tell you that in the moments where I have had horrible days, down days, I've either gone and listened to this podcast or I've texted them because these are the people who truly get it. You want to listen to the people who are walking in the same footsteps that you are. You guys go check out the Boss Babe podcast. You're not going to be sorry. And it's just going to make you way smarter and you're going to have way more fun. So go check it out.
I always ask myself a question that will help me stick with the mundane. So, for example, being at the gym or making good food choices, instead of saying, oh, what do I feel like? Or what do I want to do? Those questions, they're going to sabotage you because you know the answer to those. So instead, I ask myself, what would a fit person do? Or what would a ripped person do? Or what would a person who has the summer body that I want, what would they do? And when you ask that question, it helps you to be okay with continuing on with those small actions that feel boring, that feel mundane. I was just on a road trip with my mom for a week. I took her from Arizona to her summer place up in Wisconsin. And I love snacking on the road. Who doesn't? But I didn't want to come back sabotaging my summer body goals. So every single time that she'd offer me a snack, or every single time we'd stop at a gas station, I would just ask myself a better question. I'd say, what would a fit person do? Right? And then I'd leave the chips behind, or I'd leave whatever behind, and I'd grab a sparkling water or something like that. And that little question helped me master those small decisions, while seemingly insignificant when looked at as an individual decision. When you stack them, they make a huge difference. So you got to ask yourself, or find what your question is going to be that you ask yourself when it comes to possibly slipping out of the mundane.
So I use a couple more questions too. I have many. So I think Chris does too. So if I'm thinking of skipping my workout, or if I'm thinking of skipping something I have to do on my to-do list and I know it's going to cause me anxiety later, I say, how do you want to feel tonight? Do you want to feel anxious when you're trying to enjoy your downtime and now you feel guilty? Or how do you want to feel tomorrow? Do you want to ruin tomorrow because you're not willing to just do this small task right now that could take 20, 30 minutes and you could just sit here in this short-term pain to give yourself a lot of relief tomorrow? I'm always trying to bring in future, what would have been future pain. And I'm trying to use that as a motivator. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to feel that pain tonight. And I know that I will. I know it's going to feel this way if I don't do it. And I just don't want to. And I let myself experience that pain in the moment. And I go, nope, I don't want to feel that tonight. So I'm going to do it right now. In fact, even with this podcast, I said to Chris, he's like, oh, I'm so tired. We're exhausted tonight. And we've had a busy day. And I was like, I need to do this quickie because I cannot feel the anxiety about it again tomorrow. Let's do it. So I fast forwarded to tomorrow, let myself feel how I'm going to feel if I don't do it again. And then I'm going to go to that. So
here's the good news. What we're talking about here, mastering the small decisions, mastering the small actions, mastering the mundane. The good news is anybody can do this. So this means you can be successful. This means you can have the business you want. This means you can have the body you want, or the life you want, or the relationship you want, because it's no radical big move that only a few have the talent to make. No, it is a ton of tiny decisions. It is a ton of insignificant moves. It is a ton of slightly better questions that anybody can do and anybody can master. So that means you listening. It means you can have that life that you want. It means you're not missing any special talent. You're not missing any kind of giant muscle or giant willpower. It's these small things, and it means that you can win too.
So I'm almost done with Atomic Habits. I feel like it's taken me a while, guys, but it's so freaking good. And in here it says, professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. And I know some of you are saying, I'm too busy, or I have kids they don't understand, or I'm working all of these jobs. But the thing is that we've all had our own set of circumstances where we feel that way and we could let it get in the way. But what a professional starts to understand. And you can start acting as a professional right now, even though you don't feel like it. That's how you become one. What a professional understands is that life can wait unless it is a dire emergency where someone's in the hospital or something is happening that you have to be there. Then everything else can wait. And you teach people how to treat you, and you also train people what you will be doing. So if you're answering the phone, if it's your mom and she's calling before the gym and you're like, I need to get this, do you? Or did you communicate, hey, if it is an absolute emergency, text me the word emergency and I will call you. But if it's not, it's going to wait until after the gym because you have to take care of yourself. So have your plans for when these things come up, communicate with people, teach them how you're going to respond. Teach them when you're available. And this was the hardest lesson for me to learn when we were in network marketing. I would let people, anyone in our downline, throw me off because I was like, they need me. Oh my God, they said they need me for this call right now. And it would be like during a gym time or it'd be during a family time. And Chris would be like, you're teaching them that you're accessible all of the time. And it's throwing you into massive anxiety. And the difference between who we would see were the very successful people in that company who still loved their life and the people who were not successful was they learned how to do this. They would learn how to set hours. They would learn how to take care of themselves first. They would learn to master the mundane of everyday life and know that everything else could wait. And I want to end with this because this was a habit that was such a game changer for us. It's the Power 9. You guys know it. If you listen to this podcast, it is 3 gratitudes, 3 excited about, and 3 manifests, and it's life changing.
We do it every day. Talk about mastering the mundane.
Every single day. We do not miss it. It has been one of the biggest mood changers for me ever. And I'm telling you, you can start with this habit and other things can layer on because this is going to be the habit that changes your mindset for the day. And maybe one of the gratitudes every single day is, I am so grateful that I am learning to master the mundane because the mundane works. It just does. So if you guys want the Power 9, I'm going to send it straight to your inbox so you know exactly how to do it. It's less than a 2-minute read. You can learn it that fast. Send it to someone you love because I'm telling you, everyone who's done it so far has said it is life-changing for them. I'm getting messages every single day. Message me the word manifest in the DMs on IG. So just go to my Instagram page at Lori Harder and just message me the word manifest and I'm going to send it to you and it's going to change your life. And I'm so grateful for you. You're in my gratitudes tonight and today. And until next time, we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Love and appreciate you.
Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. And I want to make sure that you have my phone number, and I'm not kidding. Did you know that I have a community text number? For real. My phone number is 310-496-8363. This goes directly to my phone. All you have to do is text the word daily to 310-496-8363. And I literally text you every single day, Monday through Friday. I actually just got done 30 seconds ago texting a bunch of people back, and I talk to you all of the time. You guys, people always ask me how I got my community text number and how it works. Well, all you have to do is you can just go to community.com and get your own. Community makes it easy to get a phone number that you can use to build your audience using text. People just text you at your number and they're added to your group. Then you can text them out audios, video links, anything you want. You guys, I text out happy birthday videos. I love to send podcast links, thoughts about life, book recommendations, different events that I'm doing in the local area. Texting gets me out of the noise of social media and directly into your hand. And now you can start texting your people too. Just go to community.com to get your phone number. They give you a 10-digit real phone number, not those weird short codes that look like spam, but it's more than a phone phone number. Your new number comes with an inbox for SMS and texting. This means you can actually manage your text list from your computer and an app on your phone. You can schedule text to send at certain times and to certain groups. You can even set up auto replies or let your assistant or customer service team answer your text messages via Community's awesome dashboard. Just go to community.com and ask for a free demo. They'll show you how it works and get you your number. It's time to start texting your audience versus just posting on social media. Everyone uses Community for that. So go check them out at community.com. I can tell you it's not just great for communicating with my audience, but Chris and I use Community and our texts to also sell out our launches. I'm telling you, you get such an incredible response because you really are creating a true, deep sense of community. And it's so intimate. It's freaking amazing. Go check it out at community.com. Hey, I know if you're listening to this podcast that you have big dreams and big goals. And one of the things that can really stop you is struggling with your marketing. Trust me, I have been there. Are you using 10 different systems just to build your online business? Then I want you to try Kajabi. Kajabi helps you build your web pages, set up funnels, and sell your courses, content, coaching, or communities. You've been hearing me talk a lot about funnels on this podcast and the importance of your email list. You can get a free trial at kajabi.com. That's Kajabi.com. I've talked about Kajabi before, but here's something that's super cool and new. They just rolled out an AI assistant for creating your online course curriculum. And this means you just type in a topic that you want to create on a course or webinar and bam, it just generates a sample outline for you. It takes a ton of the hard work away. Of course, you're going to customize it to be your own, but this really helps you get over the struggle of how in the world to start, which is where most people stop. If you're like me, starting is always the hardest part, and that's what makes Kajabi so popular. They've made it easier for creators to build web pages, build courses, build coaching programs, build membership sites, build checkout pages, and build email funnels. So if you're struggling with any of those, you got to go check it out. Go to kajabi.com. Kajabi was really the first all-in-one system and is trusted by over 100,000 creators. I think that's good enough for me. Also as influencers and marketers who use this. And now their smart AI platform makes it easy to take what you know and turn it into an online course and business. Go start building with a free trial at kajabi.com. That's Kajabi.com.